It's a question I may ask myself every day. What are the lessons that I know today that I didn't know tomorrow? First of all, the lessons are progressive. So I guess it does go back to the notion of be ready to adapt. I mean, anything can happen. Be open-minded. One of the things that I found as the most useful was to float above the emotions, or to be able to look at things from an outside perspective with an open heart. That allowed me large advantage that was not there at the very beginning.
Welcome to our series entitled The IAM Podcast, a podcast about innovation, business, and most importantly, people. In this series, we'll be talking to founders, executives, and various experts about their vision, challenges, best practices, and lessons learned throughout their journey. Let's get started. Meet Michael Malul, the co-founder and CEO at Shareitt. Michael is creating an impact on the economy, environment, and relationships.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Today we are joined by the co-founder and CEO at Shareitt, Michael Malul. Thank you for joining me today, Michael.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you and welcome to the IAM podcast. So let's get started. I'd love to hear how you tell the world how awesome your product is. Could you share your elevator pitch?
So ours is quite simple. We just say the following notion: in Shareitt, you can actually shop without spending money. That's where it ends. Then
That's it.
we have some consecutive questions coming along, but that is it. That's the difference.
Okay, share everything, right? I checked your website and it says you can find almost anything in Shareitt's marketplace, right? Tens of thousands of things and items. So I want to ask you, like, how many items can you upload per day?
Generally, the average active user, which let's say came to visit at least in the last 60 days, on average, would upload about 37 items a month. That is the average in our system. It's fun, it's easy, simple. So it's up to you. You can upload more, you can upload less, but that's the average.
Okay, so it's unlimited. If you can do it 30 a day, you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. The more you share with the shared community, the more points you're going to get, and then going to be able to actually shop more without spending money. It works on a very simple notion. Everything that helps the entire community is going to get rewarded. And yes, sharing items and sharing the things you have that are awesome and no longer use is great for everybody. It increases the size of our mall where you can shop without spending money. So it's rewarded with points.
Yeah, awesome. No matter what the type, the size, or the worth, right? But I'm curious. Would you know the smallest item ever uploaded on your site?
Mhm. So funny enough that you mentioned that. First of all, it doesn't matter which item you upload. There is an algorithm that runs behind the scene and does multiple calculations to understand how many points to provide you back to issue you as a member. Small items could have been like, let's say, it would be an example of a small item. It's very hard to sell it back on a regular marketplace, but in Shareitt you can. Shareitt is doing something very different from anybody else. We're handling a long tail of items, meaning that while you can sell a phone, here's an iPhone, it's easy to sell for money. It is really not easy to sell that. It's not easy to sell books and toys for kids, or even most of the fashion we wear. It's really not a simple task to sell it back. Obviously, there are malls, there are shops, online websites. Everybody try to sell more and more items, and we buy them. Then we stock them. We have them at our closets. So Shareitt allows you a whole new wallet with points, and using that, you can create a whole new marketplace of things that are not being sold in the regular market.
Awesome. So, well, talk to me about the idea. I mean, how did this come about, this whole Shareitt idea?
So shared idea actually started. It started from few directions. The bigger why that I have is I wanted to do something that is associated with an impact technology. That's the fundamentals. Yes, it's related to the environment and reusing things, so that's already a good start. But
Mhm.
then when I aimed more and I became a father and I saw how my kids are growing and everything is changing, you have fashion was changing for a long time, and I've noticed that doesn't matter how much we get, there's always a need for more, and we don't use it a lot. It's still awesome, it's amazing, but giving it, we're just giving it aside. When the kids came on board, clothes, shoes, toys, books, everything got recycled. Everything was the interest changed quickly. And yet again, we're stuck with awesome things that I cannot sell back for money. It doesn't worth the time, but I have them and they're awesome. Someone else can use them. So all together, with the desire to be in a reuse, in a place where you can reuse items, while you can still be innovative in putting some tricks by replacing how you exchange. Instead of money, you exchange with points, and now you change the whole game. That is the simple change that we've done just to create a whole new marketplace.
Hmm. Who uses your product?
Mhm. So fundamentally, the main users that we started with to test with actually in pilot were moms. As I told you, I
Wow.
saw the needs in my place. I saw the needs with my own kids and how my wife and family could use it. And in the most fundamental essence of it, moms were stuck with the biggest set of responsibilities to take care of a lot of the needs for kids, for your home, kitchen. We have tons of kitchen items,
Yeah.
getting the right books, getting the right toys, changing the clothing. And the good thing with kids, they're not yet too worried about the fashion that they're going to be wearing, right? So it gives us parents a lot of bandwidth in how to play it out. Plus, moms, really, just like me, like a dad, I'm a dad. I have my own desires as far as it comes to getting new stuff, new shirts, new pants, new shoes. So it kind of like went along, and women were the foundations of what we're doing. Today, we opened up for men and women after we finished the pilot and kind of like say it out loud that we're here and welcome to join us. So everybody are welcome in. We have actually younger generation that are stepping in for the first time in their life. They have a wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the wallet has points, but they now can replace games with their friends, PlayStation games, right? They can exchange for points. They can get each other to do a bunch of things that are interesting to them. But they have a place where they can actually get things without the need for money. All they had to do is participate. So the ranges in our application is slightly higher than we expected initially.
Wow. From moms to millennials,
Yeah, pretty
anyone
much.
can upload. How about you? I mean, have you uploaded or sold a lot of your stuff on that site?
I have exchanged quite a good amount. Actually, through my wife, who is the main channel of us exchanging hundreds of items. I think about 70% of all the things that I'm getting to my kids are coming from the application. It actually is a nice benefit as a parent. You teach your kids, you're done with that book, awesome, upload, give it to some other kid, we'll get some points for it, and then you can go ahead and select something else. So it gives us kind of like an edge that even though we could buy the new book, it creates an appreciation from the kid to the items they get, and there is an emotional piece to it. You get it from someone who cared about that item, and that someone is actually happy that that item found a new home and someone else is enjoying it instead of it collecting dust. So it's gonna has benefits to it.
Yes. So, speaking of benefits, what impact would you like to create?
So Shareitt's impact at first is economical. In Israel, we have had, let's say we're beyond the pilot stages. We have numbers that identifies that An active user on average would increase their available income by 26%. Available spending income. 26%, that's a very significant number. That is all the money that's being used for food, buying clothes, going to the movies, anything you choose, that money can redirect itself now and not being used for a bunch of things that you can get on Shareitt. So economical impact is number one. The secondary is environmental by being part of the reusing of items in the secondhand marketplaces. Third is relationships. Shareitt is built upon relationships. We tend to say we're not a fake social system. We're actually by practice connecting people that work together. We have a wish system. It's an interesting story behind it. Maybe I'll
Please
share a
share
bit more.
that. Yeah.
The wish system is one of the more surprising things that happened to us. Well, we kept on asking, why do you like Shareitt? Why are you coming back? And honestly, if I'll be blunt, why did you just upload 50 items the last month? That's a lot. It's the biggest engagement we've seen in the P2P marketplace. And they're saying, well, people care about me. And I said, but how? Because of them getting stuff you're willing to give? And they said, no, they're fulfilling my wishes. Well, I was surprised. I designed the product and I have no idea what they're talking about. But they explained to me that they opened the WhatsApp group where they're posting things that they would be happy to have. 4 points. And they started to help each other. And the human aspect kicked in. Short afterwards, we started to design. And today we have a small wish list within our app that allows people to put what the things that they want to have. And you can fulfill a wish directly to that person. That is not an item that goes for everybody to see. It's a person-to-person relationship. And then another thing that I found out as a user in the system is that, let's say I'm getting to, we met through the app. And not knowing any family status, I'm just gonna give it as an hypothetical example. If your kids are similar to my kids' age, we found an interest, we found a connection, and we can help each other bounce back things. Or maybe your kids are slightly older than mine, then we can inherit things, or vice versa, right? We can inherit clothes that are now smaller to your kids and are in my kids' sizes. So the whole thing of working together boomed at a secondary level. And that was one of the main reasons why I think people are repeating and coming back every day. We're about 30% of the people that come on a daily basis have visited us in the last month. I'm not sure if the word Dao Mao means anything, but this is a fairly significant daily active users ratio to a monthly active users ratio that we're seeing in our app.
Wow, amazing. I like the impact. I mean, economical, especially environmental, right? But there are people who are not into like secondhand things. What are your thoughts? Especially during COVID, right? People are very anxious about exchanging, going out, handing stuff. So what are your thoughts?
Generally, the thoughts would be that we're lucky to be in a diverse world where people have many opinions and many ways to look at life. There is nothing that I know of this planet that everybody like. Secondhand items or shopping secondhand, it's something that many people like. Just to give you a perspective, Facebook Marketplace alone has 800 monthly active users, 800 million monthly active users, just Facebook alone, nothing else. So how many are we on the planet today, May?
How many are we on the planet today?
Like about 7.5 billion.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's quite of a high percentage if I take it to account of people saying, I'm into it, I like it. Secondly, what we are seeing is that the younger generation is more and more accepting that as a way of life, understanding that, hey, we, the older generation and older than me, might have placed our kids, my kids, the next generation, the one after, in an extreme spot. And we gotta start thinking differently, not just count the GDP, how much money we make without any concern to the impact around us.
Right. And I think, humans have that. Like we like things that are not ours, that belong to other people, and would like to use that. Have a feel of what it is to use things that are not ours. Okay, so
Potentially, I'm sorry, I'm stopping. I'm just going to give you another perspective. We
okay.
humans like to enjoy, and buying new things is fun at the purest
Mm,
level. And if you look at the most fundamentals, it's either you have carrot and a stick. So that is a carrot to buy something new. In Shareitt, you can get it without the financial impact, while you still enjoy the concept, but you are doing it in a responsible way and in a relationship building way. So that is when you get to that level, it's as basic as that.
nice. Okay, well, share with us your struggles. From the first version released up to now. Please share your struggles and challenges.
Well, I guess you're familiar with that. Everybody who runs a startup identifies very quickly that every day comes with running a company in the idea phase, and then in getting the initial funds phase, and then development phase, and then hitting the market, and then sustaining the users, and then creating a model that works around that. It's all a struggle. But I think that the main question around it is whether you can separate the struggle and get it from, not suffer from that, but get it as a pain that's good. What awkward example. When somebody's doing a massage,
Mm-hmm.
they might say, "Hey, it's painful." It is pain, but it's a good pain, right? You're going through a process that it might hurt you a bit as somebody squeezing your back, but it's for a good purpose. So
Yeah.
the notion is there are endless struggles in each phase. They do not stop, but know to take them as a good pain that teaches you and adapt through them. If you want a specific one, I can point, but it's just gonna be a new one tomorrow.
Okay. Is there a crazy story that you have experienced since you founded your company, since you founded Shareitt?
When you look at a forest of crazy stories, and you need to pick one tree of a crazy story, I wonder what's going to be the accurate one for this conversation. A story about the product that you wake up one morning and you realize that a small app within your app has been created by users again. I told you about the wish thing that they taught me
Mhm.
about. The next thing they taught me about was unexpected. And the crazy thing is that a whole app was built within our app.
Oh.
How is that? As I told you, we're allowing shopping without spending money. And what we did not handle is the shipping. We said, just come and pick it up. And after some time, I learned that there has been a group of women that connected together, and they said, hey, I'm living in that city, but I work in here in Tel Aviv, about 40 kilometers away. I don't mind grabbing your item and shipping it over for you as a friend. Then the rumor spread, and another lady wanted to join it, and then another one, and then it was too much. So that same woman started to get points for that. She asked, okay, so just give me some points and I'll do it. I'll be happy to do it. Before you know it, when I first analyzed that, we had 386 routes that has been created just on a WhatsApp group between women that work together and help each other carry stuff from one place to another, driving to their families, driving to their work, driving to siblings, whatever. But they would carry that with them and then get points. Um,
Okay.
I was shocked, but then I realized that I have a huge app within the app. What do I do with it? Kill it? Do I push it? It's a dangerous thing because it's a whole new attention. It's a whole new realm which you don't know. That was a huge surprise. Huge. Good one, but still huge.
Yeah, I'm interested. How did you deal with that?
So we don't have the app to show you live how I dealt with it, but generally speaking, at the beginning, I've done what many people do. I gave them an Excel, a Google Sheet, and I started to organize to see the size and how it's divided, how many cities are involved. And what I saw is that we look like an airport. I started to draw it on a map and the connections, and I saw that there was tons of connections. The next step was starting to host it lightly in the app by saying, okay, so let's say, May, if I come to you to pick up an item, you may ask me, Michael, would you mind to grab some items from me and have them pick up from your place? So I drive over, I pick up some things that I got from you, and you give me another bag that is from someone else. And they would pick it from my address. It would enable you, if I say yes, it would enable you to go to your account and add a new address, a shipper's address. So you have your address, your parents' address, but your friend's address as another shipment point. So you can extend your reach. Yes, it would cost 10 points that you have to give me as helping you. But your reach now is wider and it's all reusing existing routes. I'm already on the way to you. I'm already picking up something. So we can exchange and have you spread your reach to a wider reach. Just to give you perspective, some people would have only 2 friends on it, but some can have 30 friends. Everything is without any money. Nothing is being paid for any shipment services. It's all by people, for people.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. And I also want to ask about the funding since you mentioned that. So could you give us one best practice or what tip or strategy when it comes to fundraising?
Well, again, it depends on where you are. If you're just a person with a dream, then make sure a dream is solid and reaching high. But I would say that the one thing that applies to everything, know who you should aim, who's your audience when you fundraise. There are many types of people that are willing to put funds. The first question is, who are you at that stage, at that very moment of time, and who is the audience that would entertain your pitch? That is applicable to any moment in any phase.
Okay, this is about entrepreneurship and you as an athlete, right? You said, you've swum for 20 years of your life, and you said swimming and entrepreneurship is connected. So how does that connect?
It connects in 2 main parts that in my short experience, in my short travel on this planet. I'm 36 today. Not today, in general, I'm 36 years old. Swimming sports, especially the ones that you're with yourself against the clock, you are going to face failures on a 20-year road. Actually, over even in 5 years or 10 years in sports, you're going to fail. You're going to have to re-engage and find new power within yourself to go at it the next day, find ways to improve. You're going to have to adapt, which is the second thing. So the first one is tenacity, not being able to keep on going. Doesn't matter what you see, how tough it is, you got to keep on going, and you have to find a way in to get to your destination, whatever is your goal. Second one is adapting, because what you learn over time is that you can always do things better. And doing things better sometimes means slightly different. And it's not so easy to change habits, to change what you think, to change your biases. Adaptation and tenacity altogether, which I was forced to keep on doing in swimming to get into being better and better, is the same thing I'm not forced, but I'm using as an entrepreneur and as a person who's decided to go for a startup, especially in a blue ocean environment.
Okay, I like that, blue ocean. Okay, what are the important lessons that you can share with our viewers, with your fellow founders, with aspiring entrepreneurs in their journey?
It's a question I may ask myself every day. What are the lessons that I know today that I didn't know tomorrow? First of all, the lessons are progressive. So I guess it does go back to the notion of be ready to adapt. I mean, anything can happen. Be open-minded. One of the things that I found as the most useful was to float above the emotions, or to be able to look at things from an outside perspective with an open heart. That allowed me large advantage that was not there at the very beginning. But I think that this would have been one of them. You have a good question, so I'm not
Adapt.
sure.
Yeah, be ready for change.
Be
Okay,
ready for change every day, pretty much.
every day, right? Okay.
Change is not pivot, right? But be ready to adapt to things. But not necessarily pivoting. Pivoting is a whole new subject. It's a
Right.
whole different subject. I'm sorry.
Okay. So this statement you have to fill. So this is gonna be my last question for you. I am Michael, your blank founder.
So I think impact, impact. My why ties back to changing the way we go about, we humans go about. We have to be more responsible. So impact would be the one thing I would look to tie myself with anything that I do. It's a big word, but I mean it in the most fundamental essence. And it does go down to our day to day and how we go about.
Okay. Well, like always think that you have to create an impact in whatever you do.
Well, where in my awkward mind, it's a must at this point. We don't
Must.
really have another choice.
I
So
like that mindset. Okay. See, thank you very much for sharing. It was very insightful. Thank you. Like practical and of course full of impact.
thank you, May. It was lovely speaking with you, and all the best.
All the best to share it.
This podcast is powered by IAMOps.io. Optimize your cloud infrastructure and CI/CD process with IAMOps.io dedicated DevOps team. Check out www.iamops.io and get a DevOps team now. Make sure to check out www.iamops.io if you want to know more about us. Subscribe to our podcast so you can get notified every time we post a new video. Thank you and you have a great day.